You know, I remember when I was a kid, the wilder and the crazier the horses, the more I love them, you know. And that's always been my deal. In fact, the crazier the horse is, that's the horse I want to buy. That's the horse I want to have, you know.
Well, that's interesting.
I know, but one of the things I loved about it was, like, this horse I had, Black Bean was his name a few years ago. Every time I would get on him, he would have a fit. I mean, he was an abused horse from the past, but he would have a bucking crazy fit. I mean, he broke down doors, knocked out car windows. He would get crazy. And the thing I loved about it, because nobody would go near him, trainers wouldn't go near him, nobody. But what I loved about it was that all I had to do was breathe. I would get on him and I would just get solid. I mean, I would just get, okay, I'm on, you know, and then I would just breathe. And one thing that I would do that I was told, again, was see him doing what you want him to do. Instead of stop, 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 quit doing this, quit bucking, quit jumping around. See him moving forward, see him calm. And it worked every time. So it was a great metaphor for everything I did in my life. You know? Okay, just breathe, get really present, and think about what you want to move towards instead of what you want to move away from. You know?
Instead of fighting, right, and then that force of fighting and arguing with the horse. It's not about that. It's not about trying to make them do anything. It's about you getting into your right place, and then they follow. They do follow. They pick up our energy.
And that works in our life too.
It does.
If we get into that really good place, then, and we're not fighting ourselves and beating ourselves up and telling ourselves all those stories that have never worked for us in the past, then
that aren't true.
That aren't even, we're never true to even begin with. Then we get to move forward in a really gentle way as well. We get, like you said, we become the leaders of our own life. Yay, I love that.
And then there's another, like some of the other things you learn from a horse. Like I had a client who, she was kind of the kind of person that at home she'd yell at her kids or ask them to do something and they'd never do it. Nobody would ever follow through. You know, her husband wouldn't follow through, the kids wouldn't follow through. And we got with the horse, and every time the horse stepped into her space, now she knew how to move the horse around. I had shown her that. So every time the horse stepped into it, she stepped out of the space. So the horse was moving in, and she was stepping out. And the horse was moving in, and she was stepping out. And finally I said to her, you know, how come you're letting that horse kind of move you around? And, you know, where does this show up in your life? And she started telling me about her family. And how she asks them to do things and they never finish and they don't do it and she ends up doing it. And so what we worked on, this was really powerful for her, was what we worked on was setting a boundary with the horse. Deciding where do you want the horse to be and keeping him there, okay, on a lead. So if he comes in too close, I'm not sensing with your body, I'm not too comfortable with this space. Okay, I want him over there, not here. So we worked a lot on this, and pretty soon, there's a little technique you can do to get the horse away from you and towards you. Pretty soon she was walking, this horse was on a lead, she was walking around the arena with the horse at the right distance. He wasn't, when he was behind her, he wasn't hanging over her. He was a few steps behind. When she stopped, he stopped. You know, if she needed to move him back, she could move him back. And that whole sense of finding that energy and power to set a boundary, she started doing it in her life. She started saying no, which women also have a hard time doing because we think we should do everything, right? So she started saying, no, I'm not going to do that. That's your job. This is my job. And she started understanding where her boundary is, which also boundaries, I believe that boundaries, if you want to be intimate with someone, you have to have a boundary. You can't just merge. So that experience, and it was over a little bit of time, but that experience with the horse taught her how to set a boundary, how to say no. No, you can't stand here. You have to stand over there. And the horse, when you're talking about a big animal, so it has different kinds of effects with people. Different people have different issues in life. And I find with women there are certain issues that kind of are threads that we've all kind of, you know, with the nurturers, with the feminine, so we take care of a lot. But sometimes we take care too much and forget ourselves. And so it helps women to kind of get back in touch with that without being dominating or bitchy or, you know, just being saying, this is my space, this is who I am. And I think people, when they're around horses, there is a spiritual thing about it. You know, you get in touch with a part of yourself that I can be coaching them on the phone or in person. We can talk. But somehow when you get into that arena with that horse, there's something you connect with that isn't about words. And it's that energy, and that is a spiritual experience to some degree. You know, it brings people to tears, brings people to joy or happiness, you know. I have seen that happen with people. And being in the present, a lot, you know, especially in this technological world we're in. I don't, first of all, my coaching, I don't put people on horses. We work only on the ground.
And they're safe. I were to make up their.
Yes, they're
safe.
very safe. Yes, they're not wildly riding around the canyon. What I learned from my horses, when I first came to horses, which was a really long time ago, I was young, I was pretty controlling, you know, in life. Pretty like, I'm going to control this. I'm going to make this happen. And I was on the dominating side of leadership. You know, I was like, yeah, I'm going to, you know, pull and tug and get the horse to do this, and I can do this. And that's the way I approach life. It is exactly what I did in life. I can charge through and get it done. Use my strength, use my go. And it's not an effective way to live because, yeah, you become very productive, but you don't really savor life. You don't really enjoy life. You miss all those great moments in life that are about the birds singing or about time passing or the creative moments, because you're so charging through life that you're afraid of creativity, you're a perfectionist. That was sort of me.
And I would make up that you're building a whole lot of rapport with all the people around you.
You're kind of going through, right? So, and I was a perfectionist. You know, everything had to be absolutely perfect. This work with horses is great for people who are perfectionists, because it gets them out of that right away. Or people who want to control people. Or people who want to control the outcomes in life all the time. Because it teaches you that that's not what life is about. It's really not. Life is about process, connecting. You talk about connecting with our souls, connecting with our spirit, and connecting with nature. And if you're one of these techno people that are constantly, you know, on the phone, on the computer, doing this, horse work is great because it brings you back down and back to yourself and to nature. But so what I learned was that I wasn't going to be able to control this 1,000-pound animal, and that method wasn't going to work. And that's why when Ray Hunt came along and I took some workshops and I started really listening and watching what he was doing, he has a quote that says, take the time it takes. And when he's working with a horse, if he's trying to get a horse to partner with him and be with him, and take the time it takes, and he will take the time. And it's true in life of almost anything, you know, take the time it takes. So I learned how to be more present, how to be with life, I think. And I think that's a big lesson for me. That was a big lesson. And that's why I wanted to coach with horses, because it was so valuable to me to learn that lesson. Because charging through life isn't exactly satisfying. Yeah.
Sorry.
And you know what else? People learn very quickly. You know how we all want to change our partners. Oh, he does this and he does that, or whatever, you know. And what people learn with horses is that you change yourself, and the other person changes, most likely, you know. Right. Or the environment changes. You envision, you're right, you envision something that you want, and you can create it. But it starts with you. If you go into that arena trying to change the horse, he's not going to listen. You go into that arena and you say, wow, I've got to come down. I've got to, you know, this is what I would like to have happen. This is how I want to be. I want to communicate this. The horse will respond, you know, and they respond to our energy so much. It's so amazing.
So I think this is so fascinating. And so you do the life coaching, you do it on the phone, you do private sessions, you do group sessions.
Yeah.
And what's a good way, like, for people who have questions for you, want to find out where, when, and how to get answers? Or
Well, I have a website, and it's called awakenyourinnercowgirl.com.
I love that name.
And it's long, but a lot of information on how to reach me. My email is joysilha@gmail.com, and that's Silha. My first name is Joy. And the website has all the information, basically talks about coaching with horses, talks about regular coaching. And I do a free consultation for people. We can 20 minutes or so, we talk, we kind of make sure that this is what they want to do. And then what I do is I send them some pre-work. Before we even start, I send them things to go inside and really think about their lives and what they want to accomplish with coaching. And then we start.
Excellent. Really cool. So if you have any questions for Joy, you've got all the information. I'll put all of it across the screen so you get all the spelling correctly. And, you know, I think that it's so exciting to have all these new and different and innovative and inspiring techniques and modalities that we can play with to heal and to remove all that negative programming and all that old conditioning that we have so that we can be more present and enjoy our lives and just start moving forward and build. So A+. I think it's so exciting what you're doing, and
It's fun.
And I want to awaken my inner cowgirl now, you know.
I've had men tell me that. They come and they go, I want to awaken my inner cowgirl.
Well, you know, I just did a show on the re-emergence of the sacred feminine, and that this is the time where it's all coming back into balance, where women need to create a little bit more balance, and men need to create a little bit more balance between that male and feminine.
Yeah.
So it's all perfect.
I think that's true.
It's perfect timing. So thank you, Joy. Thank you so much for
you.
coming on the
This
show.
was fun.
I'm really excited. Yeah. And again, if you want any questions or you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at MitchFriedman1. That's MitchFriedman, the number 1 @gmail.com. Or you can visit my website, which is www.mitchfriedman1.com. Or you can visit www.itsyourmindthatmatters.com. And I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. And check out Awaken Your Inner Cowgirl. And have a wonderful evening. I'll see you next week. Thanks and bye.